with Mayor Morrell. I'm your host, Angela Stepp, and I have Mayor Morrell right here with me live in studio. And we are talking about all things pertaining to the city of Marion. And we are continuing with the theme of Marion deserves nice things. And Mayor, talk about investing in our future. We have some progress updates because a lot of progress has been made, right?
Yes, I mean, so many great things are going on. And again, I'm just so thankful for the support of the community and the support of our city council and everybody that's buying into this vision that truly believes that Marion deserves nice things.
Truly. And you are investing into our future through the youth council. Yes. And we had mentioned on the previous episode that you just started the Mayor's Youth Council, and we have pictures of the group of folks that are making up that council. You went to the State House. Could you share with us a little recap of how that went?
Yes. So our group of youth council got to ride our city bus down. I rode with them, and we went to the State House from a organization that hosts us called AIM, which stands for Accelerated Indiana Municipalities. And it was a full day of just learning of how state government works. They got to meet legislators. They got to see the State House in action. They're voting on key bills, and the students got to see that. So it's very important to me to invest into the youth for multiple reasons. For one, to get them engaged in government so they can know how cities work, how the state works, and to hopefully be able to give them the bug, if you will, to make Marion great. And I think we can get that instilled in them at an early age. By the time they become 20, 30, 40, 50, they'll have this pride in the city of Marion that they'll continue to live on.
Well, we're going to be talking about how the development in Marion is going to be moving Marion forward in the right direction. So by working with the youth of today, they're going to have an infrastructure and a good thing to want to continue on when they do hit that 20, 30, 40 years of age, which reminds me, you had shared recently on one of your social media platforms a post where you were awarded the key to the city a number of years back. This was 2003, 2004?
Yeah, forever ago.
Mayor Henry's administration, right?
Yes, yeah. So I was the mayor's math champion. So I was able to win that, and this is the awards that I think they were giving out for a year or so in a row. But it just shows the importance of when you invest in the youth, you never know what they're going to be. So I thought at the time, 21 years ago, I was that makes me 11 at the time. So I would have been in 4th or 5th grade, whatever that is. And I had no idea what a mayor was, and probably really didn't even care. But I knew that somebody in leadership came and thought my education was important enough to be able to present this certificate, and it made you perform better, right? So I want to do the same thing for our youth, and that's why the inauguration of this youth council is so important to me, because they're coming in and giving me advice and giving our city council advice as well on what needs to be done from a youth standpoint.
That perspective is so important.
Yeah.
We can get caught up, I think, in the busyness of our lives and in ideas and visions and plans that we have. And it's easy as adults to lose touch with the things that are relevant to young people, right? Mm-hmm. And so you get some great feedback.
Yeah.
And you are instilling seeds of hope and vision into the young minds and hearts, right, that you get to work with, which reminds me, you've been traveling outside of Marion Community Schools, and you have visited Oak Hill and Eastbrook schools, and you've talked to students there. Would you share with us a little bit about that?
I will go anywhere that people ask me to. So they invite me to go out to the schools and talk about a variety of topics, whether it's things going on in Marion. I think I went to one of the schools for Black History Month, and there's a variety of topics they invite me out. But I think that it's important to be able to talk to all the youth within Grant County, because people frequent Marion no matter where you live within our county. Sure. So we want to share and show all the positive things happening in our city. And, maybe we can convince them to move into the city one day too.
That would be a thing, right? For sure.
Yeah.
So you have been then visiting with them, talking about how city government works and trying to just get them excited about that and realize that it's more than just learning the civics and history and things like that. It's more than just something you have to do to check a box to get to be able to get your degree, right?
100%.
Or diploma in that case. But you have also started a podcast, How Marion Works. And that's something that Layla Price-Bodkin, who works for the city of Marion, she is kind of hosting and overseeing that. So
Yeah.
have you heard any feedback from
People love it. So I mean, the origin of that was, you get so many questions on how local government works, and we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to communicate on all mediums to share what the avenue people need to get to. One of the I think the most frequent ones that come up is, what's the process on how you get a building torn down? What's the process on how you get some kind of local legislation passed? So we want to make these episodes that kind of outline each question that we get from each department. So Layla's been doing a great job on that so far, and I think a few more departments to go, and then we'll circle back and start getting in more details about each one of those specific things.
Yeah, it's a great way when you empower people by giving them knowledge.
Yeah.
And so by explaining to them the processes behind how the city government works, people then they can help to affect change, right?
Yeah.
So another thing that you have is a podcast that you do is Morrell Speaks.
Yes.
And you're in season 2.
Yes.
You just had episode 9, Roger Yance with the Kinwell Academy.
Yes.
You had a chance to talk with him about the work being done there. Would you share with us a little bit?
So that was my podcast, and with him, and what I try to do specifically on that is highlight local businesses, nonprofits, and things that are going on in the city. So one thing that Roger does, he's the executive director for the Kinwell Academy. And Kinwell, if I was to sum it up, is a second chance school for kids who got expelled. So if you get expelled from any of the schools in the county, you can go to Kinwell and still be able to get your high school diploma. So they do a great job there. They had a lot of graduates that actually come out into the workforce to be able to help the city of Marion.
I had a chance to interview him on another program that we do here, the Community Update, and what great work they are doing at Kinwell. And it's just a matter of I think investing in people, in students specifically, and helping them, empower them to have a different perspective. It's just a shift of perspective, right? And just giving them the tools that they need to be able to deal with the challenges that life brings them.
Right.
And so amazing work that they are doing. And I'm really glad that you spotlighted them.
Yes.
So that's an important thing. Mm-hmm. Another thing that you did was go to Motter Park recently, and it was a Prevent Child Abuse Awareness event, and I would love for you to share with us a little bit about that.
So this is an annual event that they host, and this basically gathers all the people that are from our first responders, so the sheriff, the police, and the fire, and then also DCS, and everyone who has a hand in making sure our kids stay safe. So I wanted to go out and we proclaimed that April is the citywide Prevent Child Abuse Awareness Month. So that's official. That's our proclamation. And the event went well. A lot of people attended. And then to celebrate the day, they do a walk around the pond.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was the celebration, and then that leads into some other fun things that happened.
I'm glad you mentioned that because we might have a picture or two from that event. Yeah. So this is we should probably up front put a disclaimer in, right? Okay, let's put a little disclaimer. So we don't recommend that you try this. If you do so, do at your own risk, right? So we got that out there, right? But there is, near the pond at Motter Park, there's a little creek, right? This is kind of behind the Friendship Park, Friendship Farm area. And you kind of challenged yourself to see if you could jump over that creek.
Right, so now here's the whole story.
Okay,
so
all right.
We finished the event, and we were doing the walk to celebrate the Prevent Child Abuse Awareness. And I was walking next to the sheriff, and I kind of said, hey, that creek, I used to be able to jump that when I was in high school. And he said, friendly, no, you can't do that. You can't do it.
Oh, so he just dared you.
So, he dared me, right? So then I said, well, yes, I can. I can do that. And he said again, no, you can't do that. So then now, there's no other thing but to try. So that's where you see I take the jump, and I don't quite land all the way on the other side of the creek. But
you almost did, though.
I was so close.
They're on the edge. So we have a couple pictures. We don't have video of it. We have a really great shot of you where you are airborne. You are just, it looks like you're going to land it. You're going to stick that landing, right? And just like, it was just by a hair you missed. Your shoes got pretty soaked, I'm sure.
All in mud, right.
But then somebody else said, no, I can do that, right?
Yes.
So we actually have a video of that, too.
Yes.
Was it Braxton Del got him?
Yes, he made it across.
He
yes.
did, yes.
And so I owe him lunch. So the challenge was, if anybody can make this jump in the city, then I'll take him out to lunch. So I owe Braxton lunch.
That is a wonderful. So he wanted that. He's got a free lunch count.
Yes. Yep.
So do you have the restaurant picked out yet?
I'm gonna let him pick where he wants to go.
There you go. There's a lot of great restaurants in Marion. So so wherever you end up, it'll be good for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to single any particular restaurant out because they're all great. So, and that is something that we're really fortunate here in Marion. We do have a lot of great locally owned restaurants, and it's if anybody wants good cuisine, we've got it here in Marion. That's for sure. That's for sure. Well, speaking of the Modern Park for just a minute, I noticed that there was a little bit of demolition happening.
Yes.
Can we talk about it?
Let's see. What can I can probably share one of the demos. So you'll see demo being done. This is toward the backside of the Modern Park, where they store the Christmas lights and things like that. They're demoing that and building a brand new storage facility. So where, like, because right now, we store a lot of our yearly Christmas lights in like semi-trailers or outside even. Yeah. So I just didn't think that was a good idea. So what we're doing is tore down the old one and built like a brand new state-of-the-art storage facility with offices to where all the equipment that we own will actually be safe and locked up and inside.
That's great.
Yeah, so it's a maintenance thing, so it's not the coolest thing in the world, but it keeps what we have safe.
Yeah, but we have over 2 million lights. It's over 2.5 miles, and I don't remember how many million lights.
It's a lot
for the walkway of like Christmas display. It's not just a traditional little quaint display. I mean, this takes over the whole city, right?
So we want to make sure we keep all that stuff
for all of that.
Yeah, we want to keep it safe. There's another development coming out there that I can't share all the details yet, but you'll see, and it speaks to our next point of why there's no co-ed softball.
Yes.
So it's a really, really, really exciting development that we have. Hopefully we'll get the announcement out here in the next week of some of the amazing things that's going to come out there.
Okay, well, we'll revisit that then. In the next episode, we'll revisit that. But I'm glad you mentioned the no co-ed softball because that is something that we promoted and talked about on the previous episode, but some changes have happened.
Yes.
And unfortunately,
that quickly as well.
That happened very quickly in just a matter of a couple of weeks.
Yes, yeah.
So now we need to make sure that folks are aware that there is no summer co-ed softball league.
No softball league this year.
And that's the city co-ed softball league.
Correct. Yeah.
So, folks, if you heard us on the previous episode where we were talking about how you could go and register and whatnot, not happening this year. There's some changes that took place that resulted in that, and unfortunately this year it's a no-go, but who knows, maybe next year they'll be able to bring it back. But until then, this summer we'll have to shift your direction to another league elsewhere, not the city league. Okay. So it's hard when that happens, but there's always a reason behind it. That's
I wish I could say. You'll see.
We'll see. See, we don't want to ruin the surprise. So there's always a good thing that's going to result out of it. So speaking of good things, in the park, we're going to do a little sneak promo here.
Yeah.
4th of July.
Oh, this is going to be amazing.
We do a big 3rd of July in Modern Park. Talk to us a little bit about that.
This is going to be so amazing. So this year, so last year was amazing, right? I was trying to figure out how can we top last year to this year. So
I don't know if you can.
We're going even bigger and better on the fireworks. We're going to. We have another great band come. I think it's called the Blue City Kings or Blue Water Kings or something like that, and they are amazing. So we're gonna rock the house all day from live music to food vendors to bounce houses, and then we're going to cap the night off with the amazing fireworks show.
Talk about a celebration.
It's going to be great.
It is going to be
It's one of my favorite things that the city does every year.
So something that people can look forward to. Put that on your calendars. Make your summer plans around it. And, it's also nice that it's going to be happening on the 3rd of July.
Yeah.
So if you want to make a big celebration of America's independence, then you can kick it off here at Marion's Modern Park, and then you can continue it through the next day. Yep. That is exciting. We're going to talk more about that in the future, too. We'll probably share some more behind-the-scenes stuff about that as we get closer to July. So that lets me switch over to another conversation topic because, and this is a perfect segue here, TNT Fireworks. You recently got to visit them, right? Yeah. You are continuing your business tour, and you have been going and meeting with locally owned businesses in Marion and just kind of spotlighting what they do in our community. Yeah. Share with us a little bit. That TNT is one of the places you visited, but you visited Jake's Antiques, et cetera.
So the purpose behind this is for one, is to highlight and spotlight and thank the businesses for doing work here in Marion. I don't take it lightly for anyone that wants to invest their money and time and all efforts into owning a business, and especially in our city. So again, thank you to everyone, and that's one of the reasons for it as well. But another thing that I found out that came from this is there's so many businesses in our city that people have no idea that they're there or what they do. So TNT Fireworks, I mean, people see it, if you drive past the area, Warehouse Cities where it's located, but they don't know that there's every time you go in Meyer, Kroger, Walmart, Dollar General, within an 8-state radius, all those fireworks are coming from right there.
All right here in
right coming
the
through
city of Marion.
Yes, yep. For 8-state radius in this yes, yep.
Wow.
So and I think I said a few other big box retailers, but the main ones are Walmart, Kroger, and Meyer, and they that supply makes its way through Marion and then goes to other places. So that's a big deal. Then we get into Jake's Antiques, which I also visited. Mm-hmm. They have people drive. It's unbelievable. They have people drive across the whole entire United States to be able to find some of the antique things they have. So when I toured there, there's over 75 vendors, about 4 employees, and they have antique tools, stuff that you would imagine from like 1810, the early 1800s that are in there and they still work.
Wow.
So people would travel, and that's just one example. But they have, anything you can dream of, they have in that store. And then with NMC Company, this is really cool. They make the furnaces for glass manufacturers. So so when you go, if you've ever been to a glass or just YouTube or whatever, how glass is made, it has to heat it up in a furnace. So right here in Marion, Indiana, with over in this current location with over 20 employees, they make stuff from they make the furnaces that go all the way from California to southern Indiana, all across the United States, and it's made right here in Marion.
Right here in Marion,
Yep.
We are empowering
Yes.
businesses and companies around the world.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's, you know what, I'm so thankful that you are bringing to our awareness the resources and the jewels that we have in our community.
Right. Yep.
So I'm so thankful that you're highlighting that. And speaking of highlighting the local businesses, let's talk about local investment for just a minute, because there's a lot of investment in downtown area, but I understand that we have, in terms of developing and the vision for the Riverfront District, and the City Connect Trail system, and all that. You're seeing a lot of private investment happen, and to the tune of over $10 million already.
Right. Yeah. So, and that's a conservative number, really, that I put out there. So, River Rocks was the first kind of like private in this administration, the first private development that kind of like sparked it. So that ends up being a $10.8 million project, and then you have the Collaborative Center, which is with the led by the Community Foundation, and they bought that old. I think it's the old Senate building, what I remember it as most recently, but the old National Bank is what it used to be called. And they're spending, I think, over $3 million in there. And then you have other local businesses who have bought some of the buildings downtown that are investing anywhere from $50,000 to $1 million in fixing that stuff up. So just the vision of the creation of the Riverfront District has sparked a lot of local businesses and out-of-town businesses to want to invest in our area. So the city has come alongside as well with our splash pad, the investment in our trail system. I just put out today, actually, that we're going to extend our Riverwalks trail.
Nice.
So City Connect is something that kind of flows through the city and puts people to the Riverwalk, and the Riverwalk is obviously along our river. So it currently stops at about Washington Street, and we're going to run it from Washington Street all the way into the Ballardfield area.
Oh, perfect. So the truly walkable city, which is part of the vision.
Yes, we'll be able to go each direction and right on the river. It'll be really nice.
It will be, and I can just imagine when you start getting the restaurants and the other into that riverfront district, right? And to be able to, on a nice, mild weather day, just to be able to go for a little walk and stop and grab a quick bite to eat, and then just enjoy. And then you're going to have all the other development that we're going to be talking about, like the splash pad that's going to be happening, like Wiggly Field Dog Park. We're going to talk about that here in a minute, and so many other things. But you know what? We do need to pause real quick, and we just want to share with you a moment here to thank a local business that is helping to make this program possible. We want to say a great big thank you to local business Basic Systems USA here in Marion. They are helping to make this television station, this television ministry, possible through their generous donation. If you would like to support this outreach ministry that has been broadcasting through Marion, Grant County, and North Central Indiana now for 41 years, then we would welcome you to join us on our website, sunnycrestchurch.org. You can click on the donate button and then just choose WSOT TV. And your gift of any amount is fully tax deductible and would be a great blessing, as we are a nonprofit, and so you don't see any advertising on the station. It is solely supported through financial gifts and donations. So thanks so much again to Basic Systems USA here in Marion, Indiana, for making today's programming possible.
I felt accomplished after I got my diploma. Made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back to Marion Matters with Mayor Morrell. We are continuing to talk about all the exciting things that are happening within the city of Marion. A lot of investment in Mayor. Wow, you've had some groundbreaking opportunities. We will talk about one that's coming up on April the 21st, and that is going to be for the splash pad, the Marion splash pad. That's been something that has been asked for, and you in your first year as mayor put the gears into motion so that we could have one. And officially groundbreaking.
Yeah, so the vision behind that is, so it doesn't compete. So we have a splash house, obviously, which is a water park. This is a splash pad that accents the river walk. So the idea is that families will get out and be walking and running on a hot day. You can come in onto the splash pad. So this will actually be able to encourage the growth of both our splash house and our splash pad. So I'm very excited for that.
So anytime you think back to your childhood when you might have, on a hot summer day, run through the sprinkler to get cooled off.
Yeah, that's what this is.
That's what this is. And it's going to be so much more fun.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's going to, the groundbreaking for that is the 21st of April. And then it's going to be completed here pretty soon.
Yeah, the idea is that's going to be done by mid-August. So it's about a 4-month build time.
That's not long at all. You know what? You always think about August as being the hot week where we always get the dark days of summer, right?
So if it's done on time in mid-August, you'll get the blazing hot of August and September.
And what a great way to break in splash pad. Yeah. And speaking of dog days, let me segue over to Wiggly Field.
Yes.
It's a dog park. It's been long in the making. And can I just applaud you on the name?
Yeah.
Love the name. It is charming as can be.
Yeah, they did a great job. Dwight, I believe, is leading that along with our Marion Rotary Club. So this is why it's such important to have people that believe in the vision of Marion, and people to be able to invest from a public standpoint from the city, but also private investors and other organizations that believe in the growth and development of our city, and specifically in our riverfront district. So, I mean, this is the kickoff for this project. I'll shoot ballpark. It's set somewhere between $600,000 to $1 million worth of a dog park, so it's really nice.
Yes.
And then this is going to kick off our development of that all 19 acres, which turns into a massive destination for the city of Marion, for the county, and ideally for everything in this region.
So you have you're going to have Wiggly Field, and then we think of Ballard Field, right?
Yes.
But if you combine those two together, then it's really going to kind of be named a new name, right?
Yes.
And that's the
we haven't got there yet. I don't know what we're going to call it. So Wiggly Field. So Wiggly Field is what it is. That section in Ballard Field we call Wiggly Field.
Okay.
We're still working on what we're going to call Ballard Field as a whole.
Okay.
And so how it'll be set up is, where you see the soccer, that will still be there, and that will be remodeled to have more soccer fields. Okay. And then you'll have Wrigley Field, it is where it is now, and you have new streetscape, and you also have this new trail we're talking about. So ideally, I add one more. And you on the other side of Wrigley Field, you'll have a baseball and softball field. So we'll be able to have tournaments for soccer and baseball or softball. And so let's say you're a parent and you go to one of these events, and you have other kids as well. So you can bring your dog, and you can go while your one kid is playing soccer indoor practice, and you can go to the dog park. Say your other kids want to go and walk on our trail, they can hop on the trail and walk to the splash pad and have a good time there. So they want to walk a little bit further, they can continue on that same walk and make it in the model park and have access to all the different playgrounds there. So this, by the time we conclude it, it'll end up being about a three or so mile walk total for the walkway, and you'll be able to experience all these different things within that. And also in another thing I forgot, in Ballard Field, that's what it's called for now, will be a natural playground. So it'll be like trees, and it's really cool stuff. So the Wiggly Field will be done this year, and then ideally the construction on the major part of Ballard Field will begin beginning of next year. There's about a year's worth of construction time. So you'll at the top of 2027, this vision should be coming to fruition.
So we should probably take just a second with Wiggly Field to say a quick little recognition to a gentleman that has kind of helped to spur the development. And there's been a lot of hurdles, and the vision for the Wiggly Field specifically has gone through a little bit of a metamorphosis, right?
Yes.
I think this is an example of timing is everything, right? And so Dwight Ott, I believe, was instrumental from the beginning to try to originally look at developing that space. It was like, I think around 20 acres. So you said 20 acres, where you had the dog park, but then a camping area. Yeah. But that was kind of the original vision.
Right, yes.
And then over the course of time, and it didn't know it at the time, that this vision that with the riverfront district. So it's so good that maybe we didn't see it at the time. But there were delays and hurdles working with all the various different agencies trying to coordinate that project, trying to get funding. Right. And then, we had the pandemic with COVID and all of that. And then after that coming out, we had inflation. And so the initial funding that was achieved was not going to be sufficient. So there were all these different hurdles, but finally, it's all coming together. And I understand that there are a number of businesses that have invested, or organizations, I should say. So I've got a little list here for the dog park, Wiggly Field, Marion Rotary Club, $250,000 some dollars. That's a big gift. And then from the LWCF, another $214,000 and change, right? And then from the Community Foundation, just under $82,000. So you've got a lot of people investing in that, so there's roughly $600,000.
Yeah, and that's why this is important. And I try to say this everywhere I go. The collaboration is what's needed to make Marion the city we want to see. So the city government can't do it on our own. The private sector can't do it on their own, and the nonprofit organizations and other organizations can't do it on their own. The way to make Marion great is for all of those sectors to work together harmoniously, and then we can see something like this happen.
It's so true. And you even now are giving businesses opportunity to help be a part of this and fund it. There's, I understand, some fundraising opportunities. There's going to be some fencing, and there's going to be little silhouettes of dogs that are going to go up on the fence. And so if businesses want to help to invest in this to help grow the project a little bit further, they've got opportunities. I think it's $2,500 and $1,500, and you can get your business name popped on one of the little dog silhouettes that go on that fence. And that's for 5 years. So if people want to find out more information, I'm sure they can just contact the city.
And we will get all the information they need.
Yeah, very good. Okay, well, we need to move on so we don't run out of time because there's so many more things to talk about. We need to talk about riverrocklofts.com. So I'm sharing it because this is the apartment complex that's going to be developed downtown as part of this vision. And there's officially a website now, and we want to make people aware of the website. You can see it on your screen now. It is riverrocklofts.com. And it's great. You can really, truly get a feel for what you're going to be seeing downtown and what you're going to be able to reside in should you decide to move there. So,
and what's very interesting about that and very encouraging, they said they've had last time I checked, they had over 200 inquiries already. And it's only 45 apartments. So they've had 200 inquiries of people wanting to be able to move in there. And that development of that, so now add this into the whole entire vision we're seeing. So when you first pull in the Marion, you'll have all the stuff going on down there at Ballard Field. You'll have this apartment complex there with also retail at the bottom. And then you'll have the splash pad and all this stuff that continues to develop. So I think this is going to be a great hub for the city.
I think so too. We've just got another minute or so of time, but we want to share with you an update on Hogan Park, This is where the Hunger Skate Park project is going in. We talked about it. We shared the vision. Now there's a 2D rendering. We're going to put that up on the screen so you can see that. But it's coming together.
It is, so this was, I can't remember if I told the story on here or not, but this was originally, this was Council President McKinley came to me and said, hey, there's these skate parks that people build and people travel all over the country to visit them. And so I don't skate, so I'm like, whatever. So I kind of pushed it behind. And then I just happened to be on YouTube one day and Hunger Parks came across and I saw it. I'm like, oh, wow, this is really a destination. Then I started going to their website doing research. And turns out that this is like people peruse the whole entire United States trying to find these skate parks. So when we move forward developing this, not only will it service our citizens, which we're excited about, all our skating community, we're going to have a state-of-the-art place for them to go, but this is going to be now a travel destination for people to come to Marion for this.
It's going to be a great destination, and I think we're going to see a lot of guests coming in for the warm weather months, and who knows, maybe they'll do some kind of a winter competition or something, it kind of ups the stakes, right? If it gets a little cold and a little slippery, right? So anyway, we want safety to be at the forefront, though, so listen to me, I'm already calling it Hunger Skate Park. I mean, come on, right? We know that they're going to be challenging each other. So, all right, well, we are running out of time, but we cannot forget to mention the citywide cleanup dates. We've got a couple of them coming up. April the 12th is the next one, and then you have one May 17th as well.
I'm very excited about that. I'd love to see everyone there and help us create the Marion that we want to see.
Marion, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate you taking your time out of your busy schedule.
Thank you.
And we thank you so much for joining us. If you're watching us on YouTube, remember, please take a moment to like and subscribe the video. It doesn't cost you anything, but it sure helps us as we seek to grow our presence online. Thanks so much for joining us. Stay tuned for some more quality family programming that you can trust right here on WSOT TV.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that. Oh boy.
Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.